Smokie. He's 6 years old. The lady's owned him since he was 2, which is quite nice because you've got a little bit of, it's not one they've just bought in where possibly you haven't been told the truth, you know what I mean? So she rode him last year. I didn't do a great deal with him, sat on him really and just rode him around a bit. And now she's having him done for riding, so he'll go right down in every traffic and everything that's needed, and also driving. The problem we've got with him, it was his maiden voyage yesterday, I think it was, or the day before. So the problem we've got, he's so overweight. Now, I know a lot of people say, no, he's lovely, he looks nice, but what you got to understand, it's all right you saying that, but he's the one that's carrying the weight. Now, you know yourself, if you've put a load of weight on, you start walking around, you puff and blow, don't you? So what we've got to do, so we've got out early this morning, before the heat really comes. I mean, it's still very pleasant, but there's a slight breeze, which is nice, and we're getting him just to walk along. Now, where we are at this point now, so I suppose from home we're 500 yards, maybe a little bit more. At this point, he started stopping. That sounds funny, started stopping, but he was, oh, this is too much for me. So what we've got, we've tried to get the balance right, and it's only experience, I suppose, that allow you to do that. Now, out of all the vehicles we've got, this is the only one I don't know the weight of, but obviously, well, we've got so many different vehicles and the experience of having it over time, I can guess the weight roughly. And then you've always got to think who's sitting on it and what other equipment you might take. Now, we take more than other people would necessarily, so we have a box under the seat that carries all the bits and pieces of spares. Now, he's just walked up there, lovely. Yeah, now I haven't forced him, have I? I don't want to force him up there and make him do anything. I want to cajole him. He's going to find this heavy going, or not heavy going, but he's going to, you know, he's got to work a bit so that we can get rid of this weight or turn this fat into muscle is what we're aiming to do. So, but he's very relaxed, so that's good. So even just yesterday, where you could say, well, that was his maiden voyage, so therefore he didn't know quite what to do. Well, we've been up alongside Cloud in a pair, just to get him loosened up a little bit, you know, because he is so big. If you look at the dip on his back there, for instance, he'd hold water, wouldn't he? Now, it's lovely saying, oh, he's in show condition, he's so lovely, he's the one carrying it around, not you. He's the one carrying this extra weight around. And when you're asking him to work, pull a cart, and it's like someone said to me the other day, oh yeah, but where I go is always flat. I said, well, yeah, that's lovely then, you carry on. But then the road was closed. You know, they was decent enough to phone up and say, no, you was right, because I don't want to be right. There's no pleasure in that, is there? But he said, he was right. He said, we had a diversion. He said, we had 14 cars behind us and couldn't turn around, 14 vehicles behind us and couldn't turn round. He said, so we had to go on. He said, and it was, you know, we had to go uphill. Come on. Go on, my baby. And I said to him, they've got to be able to pull some weight. So let's go right to the other end. When this horse is finished, what I want him to be able to do is to pull a vehicle a short distance, literally 6-10 foot, with the brake on, yeah? You know, obviously that he can do it, not make him fall to his knees, that's just ridiculous. But add a load of weight. Now, why do I do that? Well, he's got to feel that on his shoulders to know what weight is. So this little slope here would be the ideal place to do it. Because what will happen, what you see, and no one makes any allowance for this normally, Well, they don't think of it. It's not because they're being horrible to the horse, it's just they don't think. So they buy a vehicle that's suitable for that size horse, but they never take into account the person that sells you, and they can't take into account how fit is he, what he's fed, what's the terrain like, you know, all of them type of things. They can't do, can they? So I'm just letting a slack rein on here. Letting the slack rein on there. So he can come across here, he can go over there. I'm not forcing him to keep a line. I mean, obviously, I will want him to keep a straight line, but I want him to be able to tell. I mean, the only reason he's heading for that hedge is with the sole purpose of eating it. And I think if you left him there long enough, he'd definitely munch through it. Come on, more baby. And this, what we're doing now, as I say, we're trying to turn this fat into muscle. And if you can see down there, it's, oh, let's get my bumping stick. If you can see down here, there you can't see very readily, but there where that shadow's on him, yeah? And here you can see a dip coming. Well, that wasn't there, but he's coming, and his muscles are starting to separate as each individual muscle, whereas before he was just tight all over. So I just got to keep him going like this. So I've picked a route to go round. We call it the apple tree route. It's pretty flat all the way round. There's a little pull up on the way back, because anything we've come down, we've got to climb up on the way back. So we've got two little slopes, nothing too drastic on the way back. Yeah. So we don't want to, he doesn't know how far we're going, so he can't make a decision of how fast to go or what effort to put in, because I just want him to walk along here and gradually change him over. Also, what I'm doing at the same time, we've got fly spray we put on him this morning, but it looks like, we've just been talking about it, it looks like it's separated out a bit. It might have wanted to shake. My mistake this morning, I just sprayed him over. Told Brie it had been done, but it probably wanted to shake because he's still moving his head a little bit. So, you know, the fly spray itself might have separated out a bit, just wanted to shake up, you know. But he's shaking his little ears a little bit, yeah. See there. Now, if you say, well, does that? Of course it matters, yeah, because I want him to enjoy this and be as comfortable as he possibly can. I want him to be a lovely place to be. It's something to look forward to. You know, when I bring the harness to him, I want him to drop his head down to have his collar put over his head and his bridle on, you know, and be, you know, not have to drag him out the stable. Well, I wouldn't do that anyway, but, you know, if you're doing that, you're doing it wrong. But not to, you know, drag him out. He wants to come out, not coming out in fear and, you know, bouncing all over the place, but to stroll out and say, well, we're going off today, we're going to go and have a walk and enjoy it. If you say, well, think about yourself. If you put a load of weight on over Christmas, we just say, right, like most people do, and you have put quite a bit of weight on and you was a bit too heavy to start with, right? Come on, babe. And you was a bit heavy to start with. The first time you think, oh, I'm going to, you know, start walking or jogging or running. Well, what you do first, come on, my baby boy. Go on. Good boy. Steady, darling. Steady, baby. Steady, baby. I'm just teaching him to hold this back now because he's been in a pair and he's never had the weight on his quarters. You say, well, you've got a brake there. Why not use it? Well, because if the brake's packed up any time, that's no good, is it? Obviously. So if you're going to start running, you know, after Christmas, lose a bit of weight, you're not going to go far. And if you're going to go a little way, yeah, puff, you be puffing like mad. But if you go for a walk and you say, right, you know, pick a place and it's, you know, a quarter of a mile, let's just say that to start with. You walk out a quarter of a mile from your house and you walk back again. Simple as that, right? You walk. And you do that for a few days. And then you do, you know, they've got these things, you know, well, only what you'll do, but you time yourself and you see if you can walk it a bit faster and a bit faster, and you slowly build it up. Well, that don't make no sense to him, does it? See, what's he want to build it up for? All he wants to do is lay in the field, eat grass, you know what I mean? He don't really care how big he gets. Got no interest. So you've got to make this enjoyable for the dear little chap. And he's walking away there, but if I started driving him on now harder and like that, he'd go, oh, I don't want this, I don't like it. Even this little slope here, yesterday, I could feel him coming back, but now look, can you hear the sound of his feet? He's putting a bit more effort into it. He's laying on the collar. Now if you say, well, it's only his second time in, it is, but he has been in with Cloud and done a few miles, because obviously Cloud's done a lot of the work, but we've made it so that he, you know, he can go on, my baby boy, come on, get up. He's just been inspecting. There's a dead bin there, he had to check, so it's passed away. So he's just going nice, lovely. And that's all I want. And people say, oh, for God's sake, this is so boring. Well, probably is. But you've got to look at, see the world through his eyes and how he feels. And he's got no interest in going, you know, he just plod along like this. Every step he takes, he's going to help him. Just got to tickle him up going past these lads. Yeah, they're doing a bit of scaffolding and that. So we've got to pick him up, ask him to go on a little bit, concentrate on what you're doing. Nothing too serious, and just keep going like that. So there he is, the young rascal, and he's doing well. I'm really pleased with that. But this is the, you know, why it can take so long. If you get horse come, for instance, at reasonably, you know, around the right sort of body weight, maybe, come on, just a little bit over, that's lovely. And I do never want to smack them. That's not what I want to do. So I have my old bumping stick. I mean, all these are is them sponge balls you buy for kids. You know, you put them in a big thing and, you know, the kids get in there and play. Like dive into them, you know, loads of them. Well, they're only pennies to buy. And they're just nice to reassure him. Come on, mate. Like to give him a little bump. See how he picks up speed, look. Can hear him. Come on, babe, like that. But it's not going to hurt him, is it? Why would I want to smack him if it, I don't want to go out with you? You keep hitting me, you know, that's no good. And you've got to have the patience of a saint with them. And they can only learn, and every horse is different. And even when you try and put them into categories, you find they're always different. You know, you subdivide it and find they're different again, and then they're different again, you know, as you do it. This is nice, just going down here now. So I've got using no brakes at all. The britching's sitting on him. It's only a tiny little slope, but that's how he learns. Go down the little slope. You know, feel the weight on it. Understand that I'm asking him to stop it and hold it steady. Don't speed up, don't slow up. Just keep going at the same pace. And that's what he's just done for me. So that's lovely. The other thing I'm doing amongst all this, which I'm only doing as much, I'm only doing as much as I can. It's not an important thing to me. But if you look at the buckle on top of his head between his ears, you know, for his winter state, come up there, babe. We're not seeing as much of it as we did on the other film before. You know, as he drops his head and gets a bit of head carriage, you can see it disappearing a little bit there. Well, as we go on, that's come on, baby boy. He's listening to me as well. He's heard something over there, so he's just that's flies. But before he put his ear holes back, there's something going on over there on the playing field. Might be that they're mowing or something over the back. He's not worried about it. He's just picked it up and he put his ear back to me and just said, "What's that noise, Dad? Have you heard it?" And if I don't react to that, he won't. So there we go. We're down to the school now. When we get to the corner up here, Come on, my baby. Walk over these signs. See, this is so beautiful. The fact that you just walk over them. Can you hear that noise? I told you there's something going on. It's like a saw going somewhere in the distance. And he can pick that up. That's why he's got big ears. Come on. You know, them cupped ears is like a radar thing, isn't they? They shaped it out a dish. So that's distracting him, look. Come on, mate. Not frightened of it, that's good. But he, you know, he'd like to know what it is. And if it was possible to show him, that's exactly what I'd be doing. You know, I'd be turning him to it and letting him see. Come on, my baby, good boy. People say you shouldn't slap the reins. Please don't, you know. This horse is in train and it's an entirely different thing. And people say you shouldn't slap the reins. It's so crude, you know. In our society, we don't do that because it's, you know. Go on, my baby. But what you got to remember is this horse is in training. So this will happen. That will happen. But already now, what I've done with Cloud, you know, and with the reins, he's do all that. He takes no notice, does he? So as you see now, this horse is going down here, absolutely lovely. Coming up, this corner here is actually a mile from home, right? We had a shower of rain this morning, which has made things much cooler. But it's dried out in seconds, really has, you know, been that dry. So there you go. Come on, baby. Come up, babe. That's the famous river test there where they come down to fish for the trout. I think it's expensive to keep horses. It's expensive to go fishing there. You can only take 2 fish home. They want putting in a glass case. Oh, my baby. Now, although this man's coming up here, and I'm not bothered, I'm just stopping him because I want to stop him from going and do what I asked him to do. Now, this don't make any sense to him. He said, well, there's nothing in front. Why are we stopped for? Because I've asked you to. Because I'm in charge of where we're going, how we're going, and what we're doing. He's just gone away on his own there. I'm not bothered about that at this stage. I can check him any time not to do that. Go on in. Good boy.